Welcome to another episode of Under the Agency Hood, an interview series designed to shed light on how agencies think and how they deliver value to their clients. My name is Mark Snyder. I'm founder and CEO of RSW US. We are an outsourced new business firm that works exclusively with marketing service agencies and other professional service firms. We started the business in 2005, and we are in the business of helping organizations win business by connecting them with potential clients that they're interested in meeting with. Today, we're here with Kelly Seipe, the Chief Growth Officer at JPL. JPL is a full service marketing agency that builds bridges between family focused brands and their most important audience, parents. JPL's deep understanding of family dynamics, parenting challenges, and consumer behavior helps them create authentic connections that resonate and last. Kelly has been with JPL since 2015, joining after she graduated from Penn State University. Kelly, thanks so much for joining us today. Really excited to have you here, and have been looking forward to the conversation. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Great questions too. So I'm excited to get
Oh,
into
great. Awesome. Awesome. So why don't we go ahead and dive into them? First question is, you know, pretty basic one, but tell me a little bit about your agency, who you are as an agency, what you do, what your superpower is, and maybe talk a little bit about what, the primary value is that you bring to your clients.
Yeah, your overview of who we are was great. I mean, we are a full service, fully integrated, independently owned, and we're hyper focused on helping our clients grow in a world where, I think the lines between marketing, tech, and ultimately the human experience are pretty blurred today.
Hmm.
We are really good at helping organizations transform complexity into clarity. So that could be a complex idea, a complex challenge, and getting in there, identifying the solution, and then also making things happen. And I think our primary value that we provide really can vary by client, not just the segment that they're in under family focused brands or even the industry that they're in,
Hmm.
but how they're set up. So we work with large organizations, and sometimes we're working with large organizations that have large teams, and sometimes we're working with large organizations that have small teams. And so that matters. Also, the type of client that someone is from a persona standpoint, their collaboration, their work style, their priorities, the way they communicate. So that's the easy answer, right? Is that it's different for everybody. I think,
Hmm. Which is good.
the common thread across the board is, it comes down to the speed and frequency at which we can deliver our expertise to clients. I think, unfortunately, it is possible to communicate with clients at a frequency and pace that today's world requires, but maybe, you're not necessarily bringing the value, and that leaves clients wanting more. And you can communicate your expertise in these, kind of milestone or short burst moments, but that will also leave the client wanting more.
Right.
And that depth of expertise is something that clients expect at minimum when they're hiring an agency. No client's going to say, okay, they do everything great, but they don't really have the depth of expertise, but we're going to go with them anyway. That everything always kind of tracks back to expertise. So for us, our ability to combine those two, so deliver, the flavor and type of expertise that clients are looking for, and to be able to do that, I think, early and often, and do it in a way that has a positive impact on the client's business. You can insert probably every single client there. That's the ultimate goal, I think, for the relationship.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And I'd add one word to your early and often, and it's ongoing.
Mm.
I've seen agencies kind of fall asleep at the wheel because they get comfortable with the relationship or they get bored with the relationship. And so just being able to keep it at that high level and always bringing value, which it sounds like you guys do with your clients, is definitely the way to sustain long and productive relationships. So that's great. Part of your agency has a very specific focus on family focused brands. And I'm curious, how did that positioning or that focus come to be? Just thinking it might be helpful for other agencies to understand how an agency's position is developed and how it evolves over time.
Yeah, so honestly, it was organic in how it kind of came about. It presented itself pretty naturally.
Okay.
We took a step back as part of planning many years ago and wanted to be able to identify different areas of depth of expertise, verticalized expertise, and we stepped back and kind of took a look across the current body of clients and said, okay, there's depth here in this kind of family focused space. But it wasn't really until the past 2 years, and I would say this year especially, where we started to really work on building the positioning and our authority in the marketplace. Our relationship, with RSW this year is one of those elements. And for all the marketers out there listening, if your client were to come into you tomorrow and say, "Hey, we kind of have this, emerging market that we've identified, and we want to be known as, the premier brand for this particular target. What should we do?" That the the first thing you would say, "Okay, great, love this, this kind of growth oriented thinking.
Hmm.
It's not going to happen overnight. It's a long haul. It's definitely an endurance contest out there right now." So it's a grind to where we have to be firing on all cylinders in order to really build the community that we ultimately seek to serve and help advance.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
And so, to build on something you were saying previously about, it's not just delivering it early and often, but also on an ongoing, sustained basis. I think that's how we are really looking at our current positioning in the market
Hmm.
around
Yep.
this, in that
Yep.
it's still in a very malleable, shapeable place. And I
Hmm.
think we feel good about it across the board because whether it be higher education, healthcare, early childhood education, youth sports, CPG, those brands are either omnipresent in the lives of families, and have always been there,
Hmm.
or they're helping families make decisions that affect their futures. And for
Right.
that, you need trust. So today, and as we continue in our evolution, we have and will continue to really focus on building depth of expertise in the different motivators, decision making dynamics, even especially, today more than ever, the values that drive a wide variety of different family focused choices,
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
make sure that we're really, putting ourselves in a position to deliver that expertise to our clients in a way that can make an impact in their
Yeah.
business.
No, I think that's great. And just, based on my 20-year history running this business, I can honestly say I haven't seen an agency focused in this whole, family focused parent space the way you guys are. And I think you're absolutely right. it's bringing that level of expertise and continuing to notch it up and make you indispensable and needed by those marketers because of the perspective that you bring to the table. So I think, and it is a bit of a long haul, but I think you guys are, but I think you're off to the right start and a good start, and I think you're you're just based on what I know about you and the agency, you're challenging yourself to think about what you're doing and how to improve it, and those things are only positive. Um, so I assume your agency, speaking of like new technology and approaches, I assume your agency is using AI to some degree, and I'm just curious, how are you using it, and how is the use of it benefiting your clients?
Yeah, so it's foundation. It's a foundational part of our workflow, but in a way that our utilization of AI is always strategically guided and human led. We have an agency POV on AI, and that was one of the first things we did to really set the tone for what and how and why. And today we leverage it as part of our everyday to bring more value to clients through analyzing audience behaviors, evaluating the competitive landscape, from a creative standpoint, using it to get us a jumping off point faster or enhance what we're doing, explore directions, test, refine. And when I was thinking earlier about this question, and when I was talking earlier about being able to deliver our expertise to clients early and often, AI is a big part of how we can do that at scale. I think that's
Mhm.
really one of the biggest benefits. We're finding ways to do things that maybe weren't possible before, or you had to sacrifice quality for speed, and that's not really the case anymore
Right,
if you're using it correctly.
right.
And so, we're working on some things, more to come on that from us, in ways that we'll be able to harness the power of that and our expertise to be able to bring more clients, or to be able to bring more value to our clients, because as with all things, client expectations, they're going to continue to go up, not down. So.
Sure, sure, absolutely. So, how would you characterize sort of an ideal agency client relationship? What would you say that looks like in your world?
So there's no us and them in the best
Mhm.
relationships. We're in it. We're all in it together. And for that to happen, you need a relationship that's built on transparency and trust, and there has to be shared accountability. I think that manifests itself in a lot of different ways in the day to day. These are the best relationships are the ones where you have an ongoing dialogue where you're not just getting projects, but you're being invited to be part of the business conversation. So
Absolutely.
we can co-create solutions. It's, I think, celebrating the wins together, and also not being afraid to be candid when things need to shift.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing that's really important is having this delicate balance, and it's a right balance of strategic guidance and tactical execution, so that clients feel not only supported, like we're getting things done for them and making their lives easier, but also challenged to think about things differently. So when all of those things happen, it's less about an agency and a client and more about us acting as an extension of a really high performance team.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And marketers these days are being asked to do a whole lot more with less, and so they need good, smart, strategic agency partners to help them, not just, you know, uh, execute against a communication or creative assignment, but, think about the business and how they can partner, with that client to help them move their business forward. So
Yeah.
you're spot on, relative to that. So, world of marketing and the agency world are changing, every day it seems. What do you consider to be the one or two biggest challenges agencies will face in 2026, and how does a firm like JPL, deal with those challenges head on?
So I think we have to as agencies we have no choice but to balance how we embrace things like AI and automation and different tech to make sure that we're accelerating at the same speed of the industry and the same speed that our clients need to.
Right.
But we
Right.
have to balance that by remaining really grounded in human insight and creativity. And when things move as fast as they are, for our clients, sometimes I think agencies are challenged to move at the same speed of their client. Sometimes
Hmm.
we're moving faster than clients. Sometimes we're challenged to move as fast as clients may need us to. And for us, a lot of the clients we're working with organizationally are much bigger than we are, and because of their size, they can be challenged to move forward at a pace that's going to allow them to capitalize on what's happening.
Hmm.
So I don't think it's a challenge for agencies, but also our clients.
Yeah.
And our clients' problems are our problems at the end of the day. So we try to deal with that by making sure we stay ahead of and focused on the value we bring as humans. It's not just us or the tech. It's about
Yeah.
bringing those things together in a seamless way that can create that incremental value for our
Yeah,
clients.
no, totally agree with you there. Yeah, there's got to be that human intelligence factor that sits on top of technology in order for, it to work not only for the marketer but also to be sustainable for the agency. So that
Yes, the
completely makes
sustainable
sense.
point is, incremental value. I think that's the other underpinning challenge there. It's definitely something I think about all the time. How can we deliver more value to our clients in a way
Right,
that also allows us to continue to grow as a company?
right,
um,
right.
and we deal with that every day through conversations internally and with clients, but also making sure that we have the right tools and team in place to deliver that value in a really coordinated, choreographed, sustainable way.
No, it's great. So my last question is, how do firms like JPL best manage their way forward to be of greatest value to their clients as the marketing world evolves? And I guess we kind of answered that already, but anything else that you want to add to that?
This morning, our marketing director sent me an e-newsletter from a gentleman by the name of Todd Henry. We're big fans of his at JPL. He came in and did a couple of things for us a couple years ago, and his email was around this concept or question rather of are you a moment or are you a mountain? And I
Okay.
think for us, we've been the mountain, and we want to keep being the mountain. Our brand line is Relentless Evolution, because we believe that the agencies who can remain adaptive and fearless
Mhm.
while also remaining consistent and focused are the ones that will continue to grow and continue to be able to bring value to our clients. And for us, that means continuing to invest in our talent and our culture and being able to really fuse creative thinking with tech. And at the end of the day, put our clients' customers at the center of everything we do.
Yeah,
Always
yeah,
bringing that back to that to kind of as our grounding point, if you will.
yeah. So when he talks about mountain or moment, I'm curious, like, what does he mean when he says moment? Just for other agencies out there that may be living in the moment.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to chase the flashiest current kind of thing.
Got it.
And,
Got it. Okay.
have that big moment that can be, that's a race to an outcome for sure. But then once you hit it, what's next.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think marketers can see that pretty clearly, because they expect, again, just getting back to sort of this ongoing value added thinking and is what they need in order to keep their business going.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
cool. Well, this has been great. I knew you would offer some great counsel coming in. Your energy and enthusiasm and smarts. Just it's very evident that you and the agency, you're thinking about the world the right way and trying to put the right pieces in place to not just be of benefit to JPL, but obviously, the most important thing is being of great benefit to your clients and
Yeah.
future clients that you work with. So really appreciate the time, and wish you and JPL all the best.
Will do. Thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate it. Great questions. It's fun to take a step back and be like,
Yeah.
oh,
No problem. You have a good rest of the day.
all right, you too. Thank
Okay,
you. Bye
thanks.
bye.
Yep, thanks.